Hi, my name is Wendy Alm, and I'm one of the members of Plein Air Painters of New Mexico, and I'm here to tell you all about my bag for watercolor. So I'm going to start, I'm all strapped in and pretend that I'm hiking. Probably not very far, to be honest. And I use a Kelty Redwing 44-inch pack. I'm short, so it fits my frame just a little bit better. You can get a little more stuff in the 50-inch, but I like the 44. So I take it off and I usually throw it on the ground. I'm lucky to have a bench right now. And then I start unzipping the main compartment. So I'm going to start taking everything out and set it to the side to get to my easel. Now this is a very portable small easel so that I can fit it in my pack. That's the first thing I set up every time. And I just take it out, take the little protector off. It's mostly a protector from myself. And then extend my legs. And I usually end up, because I'm short, I usually only have to use 2 of these legs. Next, I'm going to pull out my Pochade box. Now this is made for oil, but I've hacked it for watercolor. I actually have taken out the magnetic holders from the panels, and so I also use this for oil painting. I paint in oil and pastel, but I discovered, because I like having a shelf near where I set up, I discovered that if I take this out, I can take, I brought 2 to show you, either a block, so here's a block, and with either one of these, I take this fabulous plein air clamp, and this one I actually won from Eric Rhodes, Easel brush clip. I love this. And I can just clip it on the side. Now when I do this, of course I'm going to end up chopping my watercolor or my watercolor block, but it's fine. It holds it on here. The base helps hold it. Now the really cool thing about this is that I can take my watercolors and I sit this here, and you'll notice I put my palette right there. And this little Yugo palette system that I use comes with a rubber band. I drop this over here, and now it has managed to really secure itself. It won't go flying anywhere. So I have my colors that I need, and I have a palette. Now I often paint with a GoPro setup so that I can do footage. And I don't know if anybody does this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that so that you just get another little trick in your toolbox. This looks like one wicked snake with a big chomper. And I just clip it over the board and onto the palette. It's one more secure thing with the palette. Then I try to get the neck so that it's over here. Now, you will get used to working with it. It is a bit in the way. And of course, I have my case in my bag. I could reduce some space by not putting my GoPro in a case, but I know I'll lose batteries and parts. So I don't trust myself. I just keep it in the case. So I tend to lose things. I've left many brushes at sites. You guys should follow me around wherever I'm painting. Probably get some free brushes. And then all you see is my head. I just screw this in, and that's ready to go. There's a battery in there, and it's ready to go. And I start when I start painting. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my watercolor palette. I bring 2 with me, usually because I have different colors. And I actually like to use these airtight blue, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. Oh, Mijello pellets. I have a number of them, and I buy 2 watercolors, and then I end up filling them with different colors. Sometimes they dry out and you have to move it around. They have an extra tray, so you have a tray that you can use as an extra palette. I like to do my color charts, and one of my favorite ever Christmas gifts from my mom was a laminating machine. So then I laminate it because I am notorious for getting these wet and ruining my palettes, and after you put the work into it, you don't want to do that. So I will go ahead and laminate my palette and then trim it so that it fits in there, and then I sandwich it underneath my tray, and it references my colors in my palette. So that's a little bit about my watercolor palette. I have another thing that I really love to bring with me, and it is a tray. And I like to sit stuff in it, so it hooks on your easel just like that. It's made by En Plein Air Pro, and I use it quite a bit. It has a cup holder, and I always carry with me a pop-up cup like this that goes in that cup holder. And then this one is a collapsible cup holder, and I either sit it on here, or sometimes if I'm feeling really daring, I'll put it on the little clip and I'll put it in here. So you have a couple options. It usually depends on how much stuff I'm going to put on the tray itself. All right, other things in my pack: tape in case I have a loose watercolor sheet that I need to tape down. Gloves. My hands are always cold, so I usually stuff some gloves in here, and a hat in here just in case I need a hat. All right, paper towels, totally critical. Now, great hack on something like this for paper towels. With watercolor, you don't need a lot of paper towels, so you don't even need to bring a roll, or you can bring a partial roll or fold some up and then put them in your pack. But if you really are a monster user of watercolors, then I take a bungee cord and I put it through here. Now, if I'm not going to use them very often, I can hang them on the end of my palette down here, which is really nice, and it's just right there. Or I can also, I've done this before, well, this kind of gets in the way, I've got too many things hanging, is I've hung it onto, hooked them onto the actual palette itself. I usually like to put it down low though. Water fits right in these handy dandy pockets. So of course, clean water is critical. I try to only fill about half of my cup so that I can dump it and get fresh water as soon as it gets super dirty, and I don't just barrel through all of my water. And I usually carry 2 of these, so I have 1 in each side of my pack. Okay. Something else. I stuffed this in here just to show you all a different thing if you don't want to carry a watercolor block. You know how, I just wrecked that. At election time, people have those signs all over. If you're ever lucky enough that you can get them from the people running the campaigns, or if they've left them up too long and you can snag them, it's called Coroplast. You can also buy it, and they make a great palette for both pastel paper or watercolor paper, or even canvas sheets if you want to paint on canvas. I tape it on, and then instead of, it cuts down on weight. So instead of the weight of the block, I wanted to show you all, it makes for a lighter piece. And you also don't have to worry about doing what I was doing on the block, is you already have your edges drawn on here and taped off, so you're not going to lose any of your surface area when you're painting. So that's just a really nice little hack. I have a little toolkit, and in it I keep a little rubber eraser, a sponge. I have various drawing tools. Like this is a dissolvable sketching tool, so you can draw in pencil, but then you can make a wash with it if you add water. A regular pencil. I always carry at least one of these flats, and I actually have another one stashed in my pack, a bigger one, because I'll typically sketch on my sheet and then I'll block in with large brushes like this. And then these are my favorite travel brushes. So I have a variety of these in my kit, a whole bunch of them, different sizes. And when I'm working like this where I've clipped it on, I can put them together and then I can just drop them right in here. If they're loaded with paint, I don't like them to travel down in the ferrule. So I'll end up, if they're loaded with water and paint, so I usually end up just sitting them right on my palette so that they don't dissolve any of that stuff and damage anything in there. I also have a pencil sharpener in here. Pencil sharpener. And then just a couple tubes like this color. This is Van Dyke Brown. If I have a color that isn't in my palette and I know I want, I'll just bring an extra little tube. And some may think this is cheaty, but white gouache. It can save you if you've completely ruined all of your whites, or if you just want more of an opaque, creamy color, you can stick some gouache on your palette and mix it in, and it's fabulous. So I keep a tube of gouache with me. All right, spray bottle, little misty spray bottle. It's really dry here, so this is great for effects. This is great to help keep your water moist. Very helpful. And I always have clips like this. Let me take this out. This is a gouache palette of mine that I just stick in there, and it's in a baggie. But it's also something else really neat. I'm going to show you for your trash. I usually just use a Ziploc or an old baggie, and I'll clip it right onto the back of my table. You can clip it on anywhere, and then you know that you're getting your trash put away. Okay. A sponge. I have various other things like gloves in a bottle, sunscreen, because I burn so easy, and just a number of little clips. Another thing that you might want to consider is a power charger. If you think that your batteries are going to run out on your phone and you want photos or video, or you're listening to music and you think your battery's going to go out, keep one of these guys charged and you can stuff it right in your pack. And that's pretty much all you need.